All right, everybody, welcome to the Big Manz Cabana. I'm your host, Matthew J. Lepore, and I'm on with Kelly Smyth today.
Hey, Matt. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's going to be great. So, all you guys out there, she is a connoisseur of many different avenues, fitness, bartending. You're a mother, which I know takes up plenty of your time. And, yeah, so we're going to dive all into it. So, what is it like being a mother of you two, right?
Three boys.
Being a bartender, making sure that you are always staying in shape, all that kind of stuff. So what is that like across the board?
Chaos. Pure chaos.
So how do you manage that? Like, I know today, just to get over here, you went to the gym, you had to do it with the kids, you had to go running errands. Like, what is that like on a daily basis?
I don't know. I mean, I got it down to a science, I guess. It's a way of life, you know, like fitness. Like the gym to me is like brushing my teeth. I can't go a day without it. It's in my routine. No matter what, I find a way to make it work. Like I would never not brush my teeth. I would never not go to the gym. So that just fits in.
Sure. Okay.
Right?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So how do your splits go then for the week? Or do you just go in and you have like a full body, or do you?
No, I break it up. So yeah, today I did shoulders, like all shoulders.
Oh, nice. Me too. Let's go. Yeah, I'm the same way. Brushing my teeth, you have to go to the gym. That's where we literally came from. So
Yep.
yeah. So now, when you are doing, let's say you're doing legs, and you have a long shift ahead of us, like on a Friday or Saturday, whatever it is.
I would never do legs on those days. That's a lesson I learned the hard way.
Really? How did that go?
That was painful.
Well,
yeah.
Was this recent, or was this like?
No, it was a few months ago, but yeah, that was not a good idea.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, to do legs and then go bartend for 10 hours and stand on your feet. Yeah.
God. Doesn't sound fun at all.
No, not fun at all.
So was there like a big twist in your life, a big change, or were you always into fitness? Like, was there something that was like clicked inside your brain that was like, I have to go to the gym, there's something that I have to do, or were you just always into fitness?
I always worked out, but like back in the day, like I started just running. So I did marathons, half marathons. I did cycling. I did like 100-mile bike rides, 150-mile bike rides. Like I don't know how to do anything half-assed, so I got to go all the way, right? So, and then just became a way of life. And when I got divorced, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this. And I just pursued it. And I got a cycling certification, and I got a personal training certification, and, all the things in between. So it's just, it's just been a thing. Yeah.
So how do you get a cycling certification? What's the process for that?
You just take a course,
Oh, that's it?
Yeah, just take a course.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Is it the same thing as like, CrossFit? You do like okay.
Yep. I had a CrossFit cert. It's now expired, but I did CrossFit for a few years.
How many certifications do you have?
Too many. A lot of money spent, but I know it's fun. Like, and I always need to take it to the next thing. Like, I've always had a goal in mind. Like, there's always something I had to reach for. And so, it was like you did a marathon, half marathon, and it was like, okay, let me do a bike ride, and I'll do a 150-mile bike ride, and then it was like, oh, let me do a Spartan race. Okay, I did Spartan races, and those things are all physical. And then I was like, oh, let me do bodybuilding, because bodybuilding is completely different. That's mental. That's all mental. So I was like, oh, let me do one of them. Oh, let me do another one. Let me do another one.
My you say 150-mile bike ride, and in my head, like when I was younger, I would do like, we would go to like Wegmans or wherever we would go, and it's like, a couple miles. I'm like, dude, this sucks. 100. How do you? Did you just do that? Or do you have to like prep for that?
I mean, I trained for it, but I just did some long bike rides on the trails and stuff. But yeah, it's fun. So the 150-mile, you actually do 75 miles down. You spend the night in, I think it was in Ocean City, New Jersey, and then you ride back the next day. Which getting back on your bike the next day is an experience because your legs are sore, your butt is sore, everything hurts, but you got to get to that finish line. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That sounds awful.
Do you want to hear a funny story about that?
Yeah,
so the very first one I did, I was like so determined that I was going to make it to the finish line the next day. So I was in a house with a bunch of people, and like 25 people or something.
Yeah.
And everybody's drinking and everybody's partying. And I was like, no, I'm going to bed early because I'm getting to that finish line.
Sure.
Right? So I literally was the first one to sleep. I went to bed early. Everybody was up partying until 2 a.m., drinking, having a good old time. I was in bed by like 8:30. On the ride home, I was literally, and I mean literally, 10 miles from the finish line. And I took a header and I went flying. My bike went this way. I went this way. My helmet went that way. I had to be taken by an ambulance. So I didn't get to cross the finish line. After all that, I was so mad.
Wait, so what happened? Like it just went over?
There was a few people in front of me. So when you do a race like that, your tires are real close.
Sure.
So there was about 5 bikes ahead of me. I see this woman fall. And I was to the guy in front of me. I'm like, please don't fall. Please don't fall. Please don't fall. But he did. And then I went airborne. I just went like over all of them. And my shit went everywhere. I went flying everywhere. and I had to be taken by ambulance because the protocol of that race, that was the MS 150. Like you have to be, when your helmet comes off, you have to go by ambulance. So my bike and my helmet made it across the finish line, but I didn't.
Oh my gosh, no. Yeah. Oh, I would hate
Everyone took my
life.
stuff for me, so they're like all the pictures of like, here's your bike across the finish line. I'm like, screw you, I'm laying in a hospital bed.
Oh my gosh. So did you have any like bad injuries from that? Or?
I didn't break anything, which the doctor was like, I don't know how, because I was covered in glass and like, you know.
Oh.
What do you call it? Road rash? What is that?
Yeah,
road rash, whatever. Yeah. And I just had a ton of bruised ribs, which really hurt. Like they were worse than probably broken ribs. They were painful.
I've had bruised ribs before. I've wrestled for years, and I remember like one guy, he was our training partner. He was a bigger kid, and he was kind of learning how to do everything. Mm-hmm. And he jumped on me, and I felt pop. I'm like, oh. For the next couple of days, they just hurt to laugh, breathe.
It was painful, and I was teaching classes then, and like I could not.
You were still teaching classes?
I couldn't though. Like I would be like, okay, you guys are gonna do push-ups, and like I'm gonna count for you, but I couldn't do them. I couldn't do a lot of things. Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah, it was painful.
Bruises are rough.
Funny story, yeah.
So where did the glass come from?
Just the road. I mean, I was like on the road.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's just broken glass in there.
Yeah. Yeah, we're just riding on the road.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, like they have like the roads blocked off, but you're just on a normal road. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you get to New Jersey, are you guys like beat or like, I'm assuming it's like half and half. So you're saying 150, so it's
yeah, 75 miles down, yeah, and 70 miles back, yeah.
So when people get there, is it like a big party scene then, or are they just
it usually
all...
is. Yeah, it usually is. Yeah.
Oh. How does like your butt and your legs feel like the next day? Like
the next day it's sore. Yeah, it's sore, and it's like, oh my god, I can't do this. But that's the mental part, right? Like you have to, if you want to. And literally, I was so determined. I was the first one to go to sleep. Like I was like, no, I'm going. You guys all party. I'm going to bed. Like I'm gonna do this thing.
Yeah.
And then I fell.
Hey, at least you have the mental
Welcome
fortitude.
to my life.
I don't know if I could do that. Like, there's been a lot of like crazy stuff that I did, like for training for like a Goliathon for like I think we did the level. Goliathon. They're pretty cool.
Yeah.
But we usually do them as like not like a joke. I don't want to say like a joke, but we do them as like for like fun.
Right.
Now for a Spartan, what does a training cycle look like?
For Spartan?
Yeah.
That's just intense. Like you really got to get your cardio endurance up. Like that's all about endurance, right? Yeah. It's not such. I mean, you need strength, and honestly, like upper body strength really is important in a Spartan race because if you don't want to do burpees, you need to have some upper body strength to do all the things. So yeah, it's just I would say upper body strength and endurance, really, cardio endurance.
So is there like a cycle of what you would train? So like one day you'd have cardio, next day you'd be working on stretching, next day you'd be working on like upper body, pull-ups, things like that.
Yeah, and then incorporate like if I did a regular workout, like I would incorporate at the end like some sort of circuit where I might do like 10 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, 30-second jump rope kind of thing, like conditioning, because you got to be conditioned to do something like that.
Yeah, everyone that I've heard from that has like a Spartan, they're just like the training in the absolute worst way. Not like bad and like I would do it differently. I'm just saying like bad and like they're killing themselves.
Yeah,
all the time.
It's a lot. Yeah,
so
it's a lot.
So what is it like with CrossFit now?
What do you mean?
So you have your certification.
I did. Yeah, it's expired, but
that's fine. Well, where were you training at?
There was a place in Limerick I was working at, and it's no longer there. It closed down. Oh. Yeah, he sold all his stuff to. I don't even know if it's there anymore. He sold it all to another CrossFit. I'm not even sure if that's there anymore.
Well, I know there's one. Mike in Virginia. They own. Oh my gosh, Limerick Athletic. Right over, it's you know where like Sunshine is.
Yeah, I think so.
Right
I think
there.
That's where he gave us stuff to.
Yeah, they're still around. They have a really nice CrossFit gym.
Yeah, I think that's where he put all his stuff. Yeah.
I gotta get back on those Fridays with Mike. He does like the Strongman Fridays.
Yeah.
Great times. We should get you into a Strongman.
I know you should. I told you that.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's.
I know. That's one thing I haven't done. So yeah, let's do it.
So okay, so you've done CrossFit, you've done Spartan, you've done the Goliathon, you've done bodybuilding. Mm-hmm. Have you powerlifted?
No. I haven't. Sounds like the next challenge for Kelly.
Listen, that would be so much fun, but it's a bit of a different transition.
Oh, I'm sure.
So you're used to all this cardio intensive stuff?
No, I don't do too much cardio now, but yeah, I have, but not so much more anymore. But yeah, no, that would be completely different training though. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a lot different.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to eat a lot more too.
Yeah. That would be the issue.
Yeah, you don't think you could do that?
I mean, I probably could, but yeah.
Oh man, you'd look so different.
I probably would.
You probably look. Would you be okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
There's a goal in mind, right? Like it was not like I'm just doing it for nothing. Like there's a goal.
So when you're setting your like goal, right? Mm-hmm. You sit down on December 31st. You're like, well, here's my goals for the year. Are you one of those people that actually complete them, or do you go, all right, well, here's my goal, and then you're like what's it called? A New Year's resolutioner.
No, I'm kind of like an impulse person.
Okay.
Like literally, I don't think about it, and then I just get like a light bulb go off in my head. Like, I think I'm gonna do this, and I just go with it.
Oh,
and
really?
then I just run with it. Yeah.
So is that why you ended up in like a Spartan and the Goliathon, things like that?
Yeah. I don't really. I'm not a planner. I should be, but I'm not. And it's just like once I get my mind made up, though, like it's like game on.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I don't plan things out. It's just like I don't know. I wait for that like impulsive moment, and it just feels right, and you're like, okay, now I'm gonna do this.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense. There's not many people that I know that are like that, because most
Yeah.
people like that I know Scott Deese and a bunch of other people at the gym. They're all going to the Arnold. Like
Oh,
they're
yeah,
leaving
yeah.
tonight.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
I've never been to that. Have you ever been?
No, I've never
No, me
been.
neither. No,
No. Hopefully, I'll qualify next year. Not like an idiot taking 6th place in nationals. They rip on me all the time for it. It's so I don't. Not about me, about you. So now with like bartending, did you always bartend, or did you wake up one day and like with like your impulses and was like, this is what I'm gonna learn to do?
No, like I've been doing it on and off since college, just like
Okay.
on and off. Yeah.
Yeah. And you don't only work at Creekside. You work at somewhere else, right?
No, right now I'm just there.
Oh, it's just
yeah,
there.
just there right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is funny. Sometimes like I'll be scrolling through TikTok. I'll be in class or at the gym, and I'm like,
I know that girl.
oh, I know that. And it's at Creekside.
You've been in a few videos.
I know. Those are funny. You guys will see it up here.
They were fun.
They were. That was a funny night.
Yeah, that was a fun night. for
Molly
sure.
was so down to, what was it? That one Lizzo song.
Yeah, which I did not know the moves to at all. Just made it up as we went. But yeah, it was fun.
Those.
We have a good time.
Yeah. No. It is cool there. I am a completely different person when I'm there, though.
I think we all are to an extent. You know.
Well, I feel bad. They always make fun of me. They're like, "Oh, the chef coach on Matt, you're just gonna be an ass." I'm like, I know.
No, you're not.
I do have my tendencies, but
We all do. Everybody does.
it is that industry.
It's anything really though in life. You
That's
know what I
true.
mean? It's
That's
any
fair.
job you're at. You have a different personality and different roles.
Well, did you ever think about starting like an LLC and just becoming like an absolute like fitness influencer trainer type person?
Yeah, I have one actually.
Oh, you do?
I do.
What
I
other don't you have?
I know. I have a lot. Yeah, I do have that.
Oh God. So what was the goal for that then?
So honestly, I was starting my own coaching business, and
Okay.
I was doing life coaching because I have a life coaching certificate and the training, and I was kind of doing that. And then I was kind of bored on the weekends. I was like, oh, let me just go back to bartending, and it kind of was like this. And then over the course of the year, it kind of went like that. Like bartending just took over because I would pick up shift here and shift here, and then. It wasn't fair because I couldn't get up to train somebody, or it just took over my lifestyle kind of thing. And now it's like flip flopped. So
Okay.
yeah.
So what is that like now being a life coach, or what was it like being a life coach?
I mean, I really enjoy it. I really enjoy helping others see things that they can't see. We all have these blind spots of things that we
that's
don't know.
That's a
So
nugget. Yeah.
we know things we know, and we know things we don't know. And there's like this whole world of things that you can't even see for yourself. And so sometimes it really takes somebody else to point those out for you.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was deep.
Yeah.
I never would have. That actually makes a lot of sense because they
Yeah.
always say like your blinders are on.
Right. So if you take a piece of pie, like a circle, you draw a circle, and you have a piece of it's a pie chart. So you have what you know you don't know, right? Like you don't know how to speak like Chinese, but you know how to work out, right? But
Yeah.
then there's this whole other piece of the circle. You don't know what you don't know. There's a whole other world in there.
That's where someone with like a life coach would come
Yeah.
in and okay, now that makes sense. That's wild.
Yeah.
That's kind of yeah. I never really thought of it like that.
Yeah, and like you can't see it yourself. Really, you can't. And it takes some deep work of like taking the onion layers off to get to it. And like that's not something you can do easily on your own.
So it is nice to have someone that will
Walk you through it. Yeah, and ask the right questions or, like the right things to get you to uncover or discover for yourself. Like you're not doing the work for them, but they have to discover because the answers are always within, right? So you have to help somebody discover those things.
So how do you find the right questions? Because I feel like people are always like very self-deprecating or they'll ask themselves internal questions. But how do you as like a life coach go, I know what to ask?
I don't know. You just kind of go with the conversation. You like start with like what's working in your life, what's not working in your life. Okay, what's an area we want to work on, and just kind of just go through there. And if there's an area they want to work on, like we'll look at that and just start to pick it apart. And like everybody has these beliefs, about certain things, about their job, about their relationships, about family. Like just start dissecting it. Really.
Oh wow. Yeah, I feel like that's always one thing is finding the right questions. I know even like for this podcast or let's say I have a comp coming up, what is something that I could work on better but then you don't know how to answer that, or
yeah, you kind of don't sometimes.
That's
So that's why you have a coach, right?
No, that makes sense.
Right, that's why you
Yes.
have a coach when you're prepping for your things,
Yes.
like your competitions. You have a coach because that's what you need. Right?
Yeah.
You can't like I've been in fitness forever. Like I can't coach myself. Like for bodybuilding shows, I could coach myself, but I wouldn't because the coach can see something that I can't see.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Oh, that's smart.
Right?
Well, especially in the bodybuilding industry, there was this whole thing. I don't know if you know who like Chris Bumstead is.
I don't know who that is.
Okay, so he's won his, I think, third or fourth Arnold Classic, and with what's it called, Classic Physique.
Mm-hmm.
And last year he had a coach where he was that coach was still competing himself, so wasn't giving him his full aspect. Chris still won, but then this year he had, I forget the coach's name, but was picking him apart, and he ended up just blowing the competition away. So it does ring true in a lot of those aspects.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
what would you say to someone who's, let's say, needs to get into the gym? I'm not saying fat, I'm not saying, but someone who wants to get in the gym and can't get in the gym. What would you say to them?
What do you mean they can't?
Okay, I guess can't sound like a good way to put this. What would you say to someone who wants to get into the gym but feels like they can't?
Well, that would start with the belief of like why they can't.
Okay.
Right? Like where does that come from?
Oh, I see.
Why do you think you can't go?
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like what is it about yourself? So that means they have a belief about themselves that they can't. Like I'm not good enough. I don't fit in. I'm never going to look like that. Like whatever their belief is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you got to start with that. Okay. Like why do you feel that way? And then know that here's the thing. It's made up, by the way. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what I tell everyone.
Did anyone actually say to you, you're not good enough or you don't fit in?
Yeah.
No, you
Yeah.
make up that story along the way of something that happened, right? So this is like the easiest way to explain that. When you're in, we'll just go junior high, and you ask a girl to dance, and she says no, right? She's like, no, I don't want to dance with you. You walk away with a thought of, I'm not good enough. She thinks I'm ugly. All women don't like me. No one's ever going to dance with me. Some story. All she did was say no. That's it. You made up the other part.
Yeah.
But then you live as if that's the real truth. And it's not. It's not true. Did she say,
really
you're not good enough?
That's good. I'm learning so
Did
much
she
stuff
say,
right now.
I think you're ugly? No, she said none of those things. All she said was no. That's it.
So then you make it
So
up.
there's a fact of you asked her, she said no, and then you made up this a whole other story, but then you live as if it's real. And that's what people do with all kinds of things.
That's good.
Right? And then that truth is like literally it's an unconscious decision that literally runs the show of your life. So from that moment, say we're talking about this junior high moment, from that moment on, the rest of your relationships, you're like timid and shy and you're afraid to ask girls out, or you like hold back in relationships because you're afraid you might get rejected.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
All she did was say no. That's it. The whole story that you put with it, it's not true.
It's
you
all
made it
made
up.
up.
So here's the thing, right? If you made that up, you can make up a new thing. You could make up.
So smart.
You could make up. I'm fucking irresistible.
Yeah.
All girls love me.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna go out there and you could be completely different when it comes to asking women out. Or any. It could be anything. I'm just using this as an example.
I
but
see
it
what
could
you're
be
saying.
It could be anything. So like with the gym, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a badass. I can go into this gym.
So you're saying the first step would be to change their mindset.
Absolutely. Mindset is everything.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So let's say someone is getting in the gym, it's their first day.
Mm-hmm.
They've changed their mindset. They're like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm a bad bitch, slay queen, and they're doing all this. The first day they come out, they're like super overwhelmed. Now, I usually recommend people don't find coaches right away. I'd say find your own way, and then if you want to get better, I would look for a coach. What are some things you would tell them on their first day back?
I would say like find something that you enjoy, like play with it a little bit, like make it fun for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Try a class, walk on the treadmill, lift some weights, play basketball, like whatever it is, racquetball, whatever gym you go to. Find something and see what you enjoy.
Yeah.
Not everybody likes lifting weights. Not everybody likes the cardio machines.
Sometimes I don't even like
Right,
lifting
right.
weights.
Neither do I. But find something that like you enjoy.
Yeah.
Because then you're gonna want to do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Now, I know they say it takes 30 days to break a habit. How long do you think it takes for someone to create a steady and healthy relationship with the gym? Not to where like you and I are, where we feel like icky that we didn't go.
Right.
But like, how long would you say it realistically takes for someone to be like, oh, I have to go to the gym?
Well, I think it depends on if they go because they hate themselves and they hate their body, or if they go because they found something they love. If they found something they love, some aspect of it they love, it's gonna be easy, right? So it won't take that long. But if they literally resist it all the time, I don't want to go, I don't want to go, I hate this, it's gonna take longer.
Yeah.
So it comes down to that mindset.
It is funny. I know a lot of people, and I don't know if this is so much body dysmorphia because they look like Greek gods, but they're like, I hate myself, which makes me want to go to the gym. And I'm like, dude, you're a psychopath. And they're like, no, it's all good. It's all good. And I'm like, bro, are you okay?
I know. I think a lot of people do that. It's like they want to beat themselves up a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
It's like the best part of their day.
Well, there is this there's this
Right?
study. I forget who did it, and I'll find it and I'll put it up for you guys. But there's this thing where the gym is a form of like self-mutilation. So like, you know how people unfortunately cut themselves or will like bruise themselves. There's like an aspect of like where, you know, you are breaking down muscle because people think that when you go to the gym, you're building muscle. No, you go to the gym to break down muscle. You build muscle by recovering.
Right.
And they say that that's an aspect of like self-mutilation.
It could be.
Is the gym.
It could be. Yeah.
And when I heard that, I was like, is that true? And I looked it up and I was like, oh, that's kind of messed up.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's a whole bunch of studies that are out there too. But so when it comes to recovery, this is the big thing that I ask anyone who's into fitness, especially as deep as we are. What are some methods you use for recovery?
Rest. Just rest.
Just rest.
Yeah.
Just get a little closer.
Oh yeah.
No, you're
I'll
good,
do a
you're
foam roller. I'll do the what's it call it? There's like it's like a rolling pin. What's it called? It's called the stick, I think. It's like a rolling stick, so you roll out your legs. Or I'll do I think it's called a stick, right?
I don't know what it's
like
called.
for
but
runners. Or I'll just do the foam roller, you know.
Oh, that little-
I have a massage gun sometimes. I'll use that.
I love
And just rest, you know. And it's weird though
Yeah.
to like lay on the sofa and just rest and watch like Netflix because it feels like I'm not doing anything, but I need to.
Yeah.
You know, you need that, and I think that's part of the thing. Like everybody wants to like run around and keep going, but you can't. You have to
Yeah.
you have to give your body the rest it needs.
So aside from just sitting on like down and like, you know, like the Theragun as they say, or just hanging out watching Netflix, like, what else do you do? Do you take like different supplements? Do you do like cryo?
I take a lot of supplements actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do, and I just stretch really.
That's smart.
Yeah, I'm pretty simple.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Everyone that always comes to me like, and I'll show you my Instagram DMs. Oh, like how do you get bigger? And I'm like, well, dude, just eat and rest.
Yeah.
And they don't expect that. I'm like, you already know gym is part of that. But you know, like I always like recommend like the same things. I'm sitting down.
Yep. You got to chill.
And I'm like, dude, honestly, it sounds so stupid. Just eat some chocolate. You might
Yeah.
actually like it, and just it'll calm you down. But that's good. So now, when you're training for something like the Spartan, all right, like something that's high intensive, like you're gonna be training all the time. How do you recover for things like that? So you're properly getting rest.
Same thing. Just take
Really?
the time. You just got to take the time to rest. So like if you have a hard cardio day or like you're doing a ton of pull-ups, like you just got to space it out. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So you just got to, again, you got to give your body the rest it needs. So if you're doing a ton of upper body stuff, you know, you got to take a day or two before you do it again. You know, like you got to rest.
Oh, wow.
Same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was different. Because I know a lot of these guys will do like they'll do. Have you ever done cryo?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you ever get like a sports massage?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Real quick about that, I wish someone warned me about those sports massages.
A little painful.
Yeah. I remember I think I was getting
I
done.
cried.
I did. No,
I cried.
So I don't know if you probably never been to like my gym, but they're like the ceilings are open, but in the offices you can kind of hear, but usually it's fine. And Jim, the owner, was like, Matt, you gotta get a sports massage. Go to this guy, Steve. I think he's at F45 or F40. It's called. And I'm like, oh, this will be calming. Like, to work on my muscles. No.
Yeah.
They were laughing at me because I was screaming like a schoolgirl. There's a muscle inside your armpit. I didn't know it existed. And he goes, all right, man, lift your arm up. I'm like, nah, bro, I'm ticklish. She goes, you're not gonna tickle, buddy. And he takes he made like a knuckle, so you guys can see it on that live. He takes his knuckle and he digs it into my armpit. I'm like, stop! He goes, You're already locked in, bro.
Oh my gosh.
I was screaming like a little baby.
I was crying when she got. Oh, I had a woman. She had her elbow like in my calves, in my calf muscles, and my calves are always tight from like the bike riding and all the things. And I did all the aerobic classes and jumping jacks and jump rope and all the things. Yeah. So and bartending, like my calves are always tight no matter what.
No.
And she had her elbow in there, and I was like, oh, it hurt so bad.
Oh, that doesn't sound fun at all.
I keep a lacrosse ball, honestly, like in my living room, and like sometimes I'll lay on the floor and I'll just take the lacrosse ball like right in my calves because they usually are sore. They're still sore to this day.
Have you ever used those? They're like foam rollers, but they're like 100 pounds. I forget what they're called, but like Cody and I will do it. We'll lay it on like our calves, and one of us will roll it on there. It's supposed to be like 100, 120 pounds.
Oh wow!
And it's supposed to work all of it out at the same time.
Oh wow!
They're really nice. Cry. Dude, it actually doesn't hurt that bad. When you get to your butt, that's when it hurts. Because like your piriformis, something like that is usually pretty tight.
Yeah, I'd be in pain.
Yeah, you have to come with us one day and try it out.
Yeah, I should.
That thing is ridiculous.
Yeah, you guys can make fun of me for crying.
Listen, I'm pretty sure when I left that room, they were all laughing at me. I'm not talking about like 3 people.
Right.
Like I did it before we had like a strongman Sunday, so there's like 15 people, and they're just seeing this big ass man walking out like in half tears.
Oh my gosh.
All oiled up. The best part is like Steve comes out, he goes, he almost did a mega boys, and I was like, oh god, stop. Those are rough.
Yeah, I agree. It hurts.
So, aside from the sparring like that, so with CrossFit, have you done any competitions with that, or have you just trained?
No, yeah, I was just training. I was just training others. Yeah.
Would you do a competition?
Would I? Back in the day, I definitely would have.
Yeah.
Not now.
Why not?
I don't know. It's just like I just do different workouts now. Like I'm more into like more bodybuilding types workouts. I mean, I still incorporate CrossFit moves, but not as much as I did when I was doing, actually doing CrossFit on a daily basis.
So not to like steal your ideas, but like, so what does your bodybuilding split look like if you want to say? Like, I know people like are weird about like their.
I mix it up. Like so, some weeks I might do chest and triceps, and then the next week I might just do chest. Or then I might do biceps and triceps one day, or then back and biceps, or I literally just mix it up. Like one week I'll follow a plan, and the following week I'll follow something different. And then some weeks I'll go heavy reps, and lighter weights, and then the opposite the following week. So I don't know. I just play with it a little bit.
Now, do you do a lot of hypertrophy or no?
A little bit. Yeah,
okay.
A little bit.
So what does that look like?
Just, high reps. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So along with this like life coaching thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
What made you want to get into that? Because
I find it fascinating.
Really? Just helping people?
Yeah.
Or?
So long story, and you don't know this. Most people don't know this. When I was in college, I was a nanny for this couple, right? And the way their relationship was extraordinary. And I was like, I want that. Like, what is that? Right? And they were involved in this like personal development program, and I knew nothing about it. But I just found that the way they communicated was just on a level of I never saw anything like it. So long story short, like, I got married, I had kids, and somebody reached out to me on Facebook about like one of those, MLM programs. And anyway, he brought up this program, this personal development program. And I was like, I know what that is. Sign me up. He's like, you don't even know anything about it. I'm like, yes, I do. I know exactly what it is. It was like $500 at the time. I had no money, but I'm like, sign me up. I want to do it.
Yeah.
And so I did it. And I literally like did a few of the programs. I stayed with it for a few years, to be honest. And this is the greatest thing. I did this 8-month course, which was 8 months. Every Friday night in the city of Philadelphia, I had to drive from here down to Philadelphia, and I sat in a classroom for 8 months every Friday night from like 6 p.m. to midnight. 8 months. And
4
I had 3
hours?
kids. Yeah.
No, that's 6. I
had 3 kids, so I had to get somebody to get them their sports, get them from school, like all the things, but I made it work, right? And at the end of that 8 months, I actually called that couple, and I was like, you changed my life by like introducing me into that program. And they were blown away that they did that, like, because I hadn't spoken to them in like 10 years or something, or 15 years, whatever it was, and they were like, oh my god, we had no idea that we made an impact. I'm like, you absolutely made an impact on me.
That's
and
wild.
it's fascinating. Yeah, it's fascinating work.
So what was the what was the program called?
It was like it was a leadership program, basically, like personal development leadership, and honestly it was torture, but in a good way. Like, it changed my life.
That's an interesting way to put it. So changing. Okay, so I guess time and tribulation, does impact life. So with this program, why do you say it was torture? But it helped.
So, because it took something. It really took something to do. It's 8 months long. It's every Friday night. I had to get the kids taken care of, their sports, dinners. I had to leave my job early. Like, I couldn't work. I had to, drive down there, which was, traffic, and pay for parking and buy dinner down there. And then you're in a classroom. Like, it really took going out of your entire comfort zone of your life to do. Right. And it wasn't just the Friday nights. There were phone calls, there were coaching calls, there were assignments you had to do. And in the beginning, I was a jerk. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. They'd be like, Kelly, you need to do this, this, and this. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. You're lucky I'm here in this chair. Like, I'm not doing that. And so I made a deal with the head coach. I said, I will not quit. I will show up. I will not quit, but I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
And so for about 6 of the 8 months, I did nothing. Like, I refused. I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. They're like, you have to get, this, this, and this done. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing it. It was like homework. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that. About 6 months in, we had to go to these, there was also like a weekend thing we had to go to. And about 6 months in, I was like, you know what? I got this. I got this program. I did the entire program in 2 months. So
was that all catch-up work that you had to do?
I just I don't know, like a bull in a china shop. I'm like, I got this. And I just like plowed through it. Right. So one of the things I argued for was like who I was. Like the coach kept telling me that, and this woman's running this whole program of like 40 people. She kept saying that you're a leader. People listen to you. People show up for you. And I'm like, no, they don't. Nobody cares about me. Nobody cares about me. I'm not good enough. Like, I'm not good enough. Like, shut up.
Yeah.
And I really got like, holy shit, I am a leader. Like, holy shit, I am this badass. So at the end, because not only did I finish it, there was a lot of people that didn't finish the program, but once I met all the things that I had to do, I tried to pull everybody else to get them to finish it. And she's like, so at the end, there was like this little ceremony, and she's like, I want to acknowledge Kelly for being she's like, you're a fucking badass. She's like, you know how many people like didn't finish this program? And not only did you finish it, you did it in 2 months. You did the whole thing in 2 months. And I was like, wow, like it changed my perspective of who I am and what I'm capable of.
Yeah. Well, you definitely radiate that.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But that's wild. You did that in 2 months?
I did. I was like, I got this.
So okay, so I'm starting to see this impulse, but it's like it's a very strong impulse. You decide to do something and you just go full time.
Oh, I'm going. Yeah, I get it done. Oh. I'm a get shit done kind of person. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, I know that.
Yeah.
I know that. Trust me, I see how you work. I know that. But no, that's cool. Now I'm just gonna get.
So and it changed my perception of me.
Yeah.
You know, because I didn't think that I was all those things.
How long ago was all this?
That was in 2015, 16.
Okay, so it's pretty recent. Yeah.
And it really changed my perception of myself. I was like, holy crap, like I can do all these things. And not that I didn't think I could, but like not to that level, like a powerful level. You know, like I felt powerful after that.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And then I ended up doing it again. I did a second 8 months. So I did it for 16 months. But the second course I did again for 8 months, but then this time I was a coach. So then I coached others in that program.
I know. Okay, so how was that stepping? So you are now...
That was
the
difficult.
Master and not the student.
Yeah, that was a little bit harder. It was a little bit harder because you go against yourself, right? Like I was those people, like screw you, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. I was like, ugh. So it's challenging, you know. But again, it like forces you to grow.
Well, how did that feel having the people that in the same position you were? I'm too cool for this. You're lucky I'm here.
It was tough, and I was like, man, I was a jerk. This is what I get. Oh my god, I did this to these people. Oh my god.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest, like you know, like. It changed my life. Honestly, it changed me.
Yeah.
For like the better, you know. So glad I did it.
So what are some things that you see are now different?
I just have like a different way. Like I know that one of the things I know about me is like I'll always go the extra mile. And people are like, but you always get screwed over. Like why would you do that? Like why would you do that? Because it's who I am. Like, and it might not pay off all the time, but it will. Like I'm not mediocre. I'm not gonna do the bare minimum like everybody else. That's just not in me. And I'm okay with it. Yeah. You know?
Well, there's definitely people out there that appreciate that. I'm pretty much the same way. Like if and that's also why I like triple and double book myself all the time. It's because I want to do this thing for you, but I also have this want to do for someone else. But I'll figure it out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's the same way with your kids then too, right? You want the best for them,
absolutely.
And you're gonna go the extra mile.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how was that leadership like? We'll call it like a. It's not a seminar, but that leadership training. How has that worked in like now your family life?
Definitely worked in the way that like the way I talk to my kids, the way like like dealing with different things. Like there was different ways to approach things. You know what I mean? Like I had a temper after my divorce. I had a little bit of a angry Kelly for a little while. So
I can appreciate
yeah.
that.
So like it taught me how to like not do that and not be like that. And
That's awesome.
everything comes down to being, and you have a choice. Like one thing I've learned is you have a choice in every moment.
Sure.
You could choose to be angry, or you could choose to just accept whatever's going on in the moment, even though you don't like it.
Yeah.
Right. So like when I wanted to get like mad or enraged and throw something, I was just like, okay, wait, hold on. Okay. Like just channel it for like a second, because you have that choice at every moment.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes I still do it because I'm human. Like we're human. You could have all the coaching on the planet, but you're still going to go back to like your old ways because we're human.
So there's actually a really good thing from the Navy SEALs is you train, but one of the things that we learned, especially like in wrestling, was you can do all this training, and same thing with the Navy SEALs, you can do all this training, but in a combat situation, in any kind of like heated situation, you are going to revert back to your lowest level of training.
Right.
That's just how it is.
It is.
And people always wonder, like, for like, let's say I keep going back to the Spartan thing, but like Spartan or CrossFit, you do all this training,
Right.
and let's say you have a 300-pound clean you got to do, right? You might revert back to a really shitty hip in and coming under, or like,
Right.
You're in the heat of battle, or like, you do all this leadership training, and a Karen comes up, not specifically to that one, but just saying a Karen in general,
Right.
or someone who wants Diet Coke consistently all the time,
Right.
it comes up and argues with you, and maybe you get a little more heated than you should have, because you could revert back to that.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't do it with people. Like
Really?
it's usually just me.
Okay.
If you notice, like I've handled all those people with like grace.
Yes.
And
No, I would agree.
One in
with that
particular,
thought.
like he was such a jerk to me, screaming in my face. You know what I said? I said, "Okay, Sarah, I'll get you free dessert for your family." And Cody and I were like, "Why are you getting them dessert?" Or I think you were there even. And I'm like, "Why are you getting them dessert?" I'm like, "Because it's hot. Like I'm just gonna treat them with kindness." Like I don't know. I get more mad at myself than anybody else. Like honestly, it's like more my things, but with other people, because here's the thing. Somebody's blowing up in your face, or they're being rude, or they're disrespectful. It has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
It could be me. It could be the cashier at CVS. It could be, the person at Giant. That person is going through something in their life. They could have gotten in a fight with their wife. They could have just lost their mom. Their dog could have died. And they are literally just looking for somebody to take it out on. So it could be anybody. It literally has nothing to do with you. And if you can separate yourself from that, then you don't get caught up in the emotions of it.
That's really smart.
Yeah.
That's
so
awesome.
Yeah. Because most of the time when somebody blows up over like something silly, like, you messed up a French fry order or something, something so stupid, and they blow up, it's literally not that. It's something else, the stress from something else
And
in
it just
their life.
happened to be that situation.
And it just happens to come out in that moment. But if it wasn't you in that moment, it would be, like I said, the cashier at CVS or the person at Giant. It would be somebody else somewhere would get the brunt of it. So in that moment, those people just need love and compassion.
I love that.
So that's how I always handle it.
That's actually...
Even though I don't always want to. I don't always want to. Sometimes I get so sick of being the nice girl. I really do. But at the end of the day, I know I can go to bed, and I know who I am and what I stand for, and I always want to make a difference.
That's awesome.
And if that's what it takes to do that, then I'm okay with it.
So, not to switch gears, but I've asked every person that's been here that's either served or bartended or worked in this industry, what is your best Karen story?
My best Karen story?
Because I feel like everyone's always had one, and it's always something that I just go, why do people exist sometimes?
I don't know.
Do you not have one?
I don't know that I do.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think I do. Nothing's standing out. I know.
That's okay. No, it's fine. It's just I feel like everyone always has like one. Gio said the same thing. He brought up like one example, but he was like, I don't really have that many. I've seen a lot of them.
Yeah, like I can't think of anything. Like nothing's like jumping right to the front of my mind here. Like I can't think of anything.
Oh, that's fine. So good. I figured I would just ask because there's a bunch of things like my girlfriend. She's a server, and she's a bunch of Karen stories.
Really?
And I was like, yeah, it sucks, dude.
Yeah.
I should have Scotty on one time and ask him because
I'm sure he has a lot. Yeah.
I mean, he almost got into a fight a couple months ago.
See, like I probably don't have that many because I don't let it get to me.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
So like
That's
I don't
smart.
take it personally. I don't like I said, like I don't like whatever they're going through and whatever they're complaining about. I just like literally in one ear and out the other because it has nothing to do with me.
Sure. Yeah.
So it's probably why I don't have so many because I don't really. I don't know. You know, it doesn't. I don't get like affected by it.
Really?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't get a charge from
Well, that's
it.
good. That's
Yeah.
good. See, I would get a charge from it.
Yeah, we gotta learn not to take things personally, which
Well,
is a big thing.
Yeah, I don't take a lot of things personally. Like if people like come and attack me, I don't take it personally. I just like I do believe that and this is why I get so frustrated with like people who are Karens. Is like I know what it's like on our end. Excuse me, I had a burp. But a little human decency. Like that's why I get fired up with you guys when people are mean to you, and then I get mad at them because they're being dicks to you guys.
Right, but again, it goes back to what they're dealing with something in their life. So you got to give them compassion because those people in that moment, that's what they need.
Yeah, you're a better person I am. I don't like when people are mean to our staff.
No, no one likes it when somebody's mean to you. I don't like when somebody's mean to me, but there's no good. Nothing is good going to come out of like getting charged and getting mean back or getting mad. It doesn't do any
you're
good.
right.
It's just like
you're right.
You know, give them in that moment. That person needs more love and compassion than you do.
Yeah.
So you just got to give it to them.
Yeah, I always get
and it's hard to do.
Well, I get more angry when I hear it come from you guys.
Yeah.
Because like you come in or Michaela or Morgan, whoever. I gotta like name them. I've been to work at Creekside, but I get more frustrated because it's like I know you guys are all sweet and all cool people. So like I don't know. I understand. I shouldn't get as frustrated because you should give them compassion. But
well, that's what you gotta do, some work on yourself, right? And that's actually like I put this on Facebook probably like 8 years ago. I remember working at a gym. I was a gym manager and general manager, and this woman was screaming in my face about her membership fees or whatnot, and I literally wasn't affected by it. And I was like, holy shit, I'm like healed. Like I wasn't, but you know what I mean? Like I had grown so much that she didn't affect me at all. And I let her leave, she left, she was heated. I called her later, like a few hours later, and I just like, whatever the issue was, I just resolved it and like gave her like a free month or free tanning. I did something nice and then she was fine.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But I remember that moment because she was screaming at me and I just stayed completely calm.
Good for high five.
Yeah.
That's
awesome. It takes
awesome.
work to do that. Like you got to get to a place with yourself that you can do that.
Yeah, looks like I have a lot to go. I just I can take a lot, but when I do get to that point, like it's more disrespect towards other people. Like I can take it towards me. Like if someone's doing sideways,
I get that.
I would just give like a snarky comment and go about my day. But like if you and I are like we're at Creeks or having a drink or like whatever it is, and someone like says something to you, or like if I'm sitting around with my friends or my girlfriend or my brothers,
that's different. Yeah, that's a little different.
That's where I get more charged.
Yeah, exactly. That's a little different. Yeah.
Yeah, there's that definitely I do have to work on without a doubt.
Yeah, it takes time. It takes time to do that.
How long do you think it took for you to do all that? Not to date you, but I'm just saying like.
No, I mean I don't know. It takes just personal growth. You just got to continue to work on yourself. You know what I mean? It's just I don't know. Just you got to work on yourself.
Maybe I'll have to check out this leadership thing you did.
Like you just gotta. I don't know. Like I don't know. You just gotta work on yourself. Find out who you really are. And like what do you. Who are you really? Right. I love the question like who are you? Like I could never answer that. I was like, oh, I'm a mom, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister. Like, no, like, who are you? Oh, yeah. Who are you really? Who are you really? Yeah. And it took me a while to be able to answer that question, but I know who I am now. I'm somebody who makes a difference.
Yeah. I love that.
And that's who I am.
That is amazing.
And I know that about me, no matter what. And, like, people think, like, oh, you're too nice or you let people walk all over you. It might look like that. Yeah. It really might look like that, but it's not.
I love that. Who am I? I'm someone that makes a difference.
I am, and I know that. And I am, like, to my core confident in saying that. Like, I know that. But it took some time to figure that out.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
That I don't think you understand how awesome that was. But most people,
if you ask that question, like, if you ask anybody that question, they're going to go with, oh, I'm a teacher, I'm a mom, I'm a dad, I'm a football coach, I'm a this and that. No, like, who are you? Take away all those things. Take away all those things. Who are just you? Like, who are you? Only you. Who are you without all those things?
That's.
And I know I am someone who makes a difference, and that's why I'm here on this earth. Like honestly.
That's so deep.
Yeah, I'm very deep and intense, which most people don't know.
Well, no, it was so funny because when you asked
most people don't know that.
Well, no, it was cool because when you asked me on, you're like, oh, I would love to be on. I'm like, hell yeah, I'd love to have you. It'd be awesome. Let's set it up. I mean, hence we're here. And you're like, I'm like, well, we can. You asked me like what we're gonna talk about. I'm like, well, I like to be very authentic, so like wherever the conversation takes us. And you're like, well, I'm very deep, and I was like,
I am.
That's awesome. Well, I guess we'll find out. But holy shit.
Yeah, most people don't know that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that don't know that side of me.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm kind of like a geek. Like I love to
It's okay.
I mean, I haven't read in a while, but like I used to love to read and like all the self-help books and like I constantly want to grow and learn and you
Mhm.
know, like when I got divorced, like I was like, "Oh my god, how'd I get here?" kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
holy shit, like what am I doing with my life? And
That's
so
insane.
just started digging deep into like who I am and why am I here and you know, all the things. So,
That's I I don't think you understand how powerful that sentence is. Who am I?
I'm
I am
telling you,
someone
you
who
got to
makes it.
use that question and ask people and watch their answers because most people go with all the things that they are. I'm a teacher, I'm a doctor, I'm a
Yeah.
nurse, I'm a this, I'm a mom, I'm a dad. Like, but who are you? Who are you? Take away all those other things. Who are you? And it took me a while to be able to say that, but I know confidently, and I can say it confidently, I'm somebody who makes a difference
I like that.
every day, no matter what. And that's why in those situations when you have the Karens, I'm able to just be compassionate and be loving and be caring, even though like they're being jerks,
Mhm.
because I can make a difference with that person.
Holy shit.
And the guy that I gave the free dessert to, by the way, who screamed in my face, he brings that up all the time. How I did that, like
Oh, he
literally,
still comes in.
yeah. He brings that up all the time. How like that's how I handled him that day. Like he's gotten in other arguments with other people, and like people have argued back with him or whatever.
I think I know who you're
Yeah,
talking about. Oh.
yeah,
Yes. I
yeah,
remember now. Yes,
yeah.
yes, yes, yes.
So, you know,
Well, you're a better person than me. Looks like I have a lot of personal development to do.
no, it's just you know, it's just like it's building relationships with people, really.
Yeah, no, I totally
Yeah.
get that. It's just
Authentic relationships, I should say.
yeah.
You know, not just because I'm a bartender, or not just because I was a trainer, not just because I was managing a gym. Like
Well, I
literally,
think that's why people like
authentically.
you.
Yeah.
Because, like, and the
Thank
thing
you.
is like, and that's why I was really excited when you asked me to be on. I'm like, because I try to do everything that I can to make this authentic. Like, none of this is going to get cut out. Like,
Right.
this is all,
No,
this
you
is all.
shouldn't,
Yeah, no. And what was nice is, like, you're like, I'm really deep and, like, I have all this stuff. And I'm like, well, you are an authentic person. And, like, I feel like when I met you, right, and up until this point, I feel like there's no hidden agenda. You weren't hiding anything. You're no different. So, like, I think that's really cool. So, and I definitely think
Appreciate
people
that.
yeah, no, I'm just
Thanks.
being honest.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
But that I still don't think you understand. That is a awesome statement.
Yeah.
That's gonna ring in my head all day.
Yeah. So think about your own statement. Who are you?
Oh man, I'm
Yeah.
gonna start writing it down.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah, and
Kelly.
you're not gonna come to it right away. Like it's
Yeah.
gonna take some time.
Oh, I'm sure.
You're gonna have to like think about it, write down some different versions of it. Like it took me some time to get there.
Yeah.
And to be able to, even when I came up with it, like to be able to say it confidently, because
Yeah.
I would be like, you know, I think I'm somebody that like, you know, helps others. You know, like I was like
Mm-hmm.
timid and shy about it, but like now I can confidently say I'm someone who makes a difference, and I know that
That's awesome.
in whatever capacity that is.
That's awesome.
Like it's the simplest things. If you go, you know, grocery shopping and you just talk to the cashier for 5 minutes, ask them how their day is.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
Most
I love
people don't
doing
do
that.
that, but most
I
people
love
don't do
doing
that.
that,
So
yeah.
in that moment, you just made a difference for somebody's day.
Mm-hmm.
Simple. It's so simple, but most people don't do it.
So, do you have any like big success stories for people that you've helped?
Honestly, I do.
Oh, let's hear some.
So I dated a guy, and I was into this personal development stuff, and he.
Oh wait, real quick.
Yeah.
Are you like one of those people that like fixes? You look to fix your boyfriend?
No.
Or, oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
But he had an anger problem,
Okay.
and like would blow up at like the dumbest stuff, and I'm like.
Okay.
Whoa, bro. Like that is not from what I just said. Like, whoa, bro. Like you need to figure that out,
Yeah.
right? So, long story short, he did some work on himself. He got to see that this anger came from when he was 5. He got left back in like first grade, and so he had it that he was dumb. So when anybody challenged him, he got into a fist fight. Like, oh, you think I'm dumb? Boom. You know what I mean? Like that was his story. I'm dumb. So if anybody challenged him in any way, shape, or form, he went right into like, oh, you think I'm dumb? Let's go. So anyway, long story short, we dated. He did some work on himself. We broke up. And I guess like 3 or 4 years later, he called me and he said he had a child. And he said, you know what? If I never met you, I would never be able to be the co-parent and the father that I am today. Like you changed my life. Like I would never be able to be a co-parent and the father that I am for my son had I not done the work on myself. He's like, I would have still been. I used to call him the hawk. I used to call him the hawk. When he would get into like these rage moments, I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, when you're done turning green, like let me know, we'll talk.
Yeah.
So he's like, if I didn't meet you and do any of that work, I would have still been an explosive hawk, and I would have never been a good dad and all the things. So like, that's probably one of my favorites because that really meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially for him to admit that too.
Yeah.
That's I think is more impressive than anything.
Yeah.
Is the fact that someone can come back and be like, yeah, no, you were right.
Yeah.
And I feel with those kind of people, admitting wrongdoings or guilt is hard.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, no,
That's big.
I thought that was cool. Like that made me feel good because like our relationship didn't end on the greatest note, and like just to know that, like, when you break up with somebody, you're like, oh, I wasted my time and all the things, and we had these arguments, whatever. But like to know, like that's where it came again. Like I made a difference in somebody's life, and like yeah, it didn't work out for us, but like I got to be a contribution to someone else's life that changed the trajectory of his life. Right.
Awesome.
There's also a girl that I trained. She was like 19 or 20, really overweight all through high school. She, I started training her. She literally became Insta famous. She's like Instagram famous. She had all these offers and all these things.
What was her name?
Taylor, forget what her thing is. I can send it to you, but she went from being like, overweight to like getting in shape, and like literally she became Instagram famous. She had all these things, and like so I helped change the trajectory of her life.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean? Like at 19, she was used to being overweight like all through high school,
Yeah.
and now all of a sudden she's like a fitness influencer, kind of like just sharing her story of her weight loss journey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she went from like 200 followers to like 50,000 followers because she just shared her journey. You know. Yeah, I love that. Like, I love
That's
that.
awesome.
So, like, I got to be a part of that. Like, I get to be a contribution to
And
that.
you get to see that every day, too. Of, like, when you
Yeah.
post something, it's like,
Yeah, and you get to be, like, that's what it is. Like, I get to make a difference and, like, be a contribution in somebody's life. Like, I love that.
That's really good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah, and, like, so think about it. Like, when you go through, like, situations like divorce and relationships break up or different jobs and you move on and different things, like, you could look at it in a negative way. Like, oh, that sucked. I wasted my time, blah, blah, blah. Or you could look at it like, I got to be a contribution to that business or to that relationship or to that person or to that family. When you look at it that way, it's kind of a cool way to look at it.
That is a really cool way to look at it. It's hard to put into words of like what you've done for just two people. One an ex-boyfriend who used to have anger issues.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of stuff that the DSM-5 says about anger issues. And for that person to call you and go, you changed my life. And then some girl, especially, in today's age where it's hard, people are always looking at bodies, looking at the hottest new thing, and she was able to turn herself from what she deemed undesirable to what a lot of people deem as desirable.
Yeah.
And you hate to say it like that, but and just by sharing her story.
Yeah.
And you get to see that every day. I'm sure that you might still follow that guy on Facebook and see him with his kids or living his life.
And the people that have made a contribution to my life, like I've acknowledged them. Like when I got divorced, like I really see that like I didn't know who I was. So like if I didn't go through that, I wouldn't be able to talk like this. I wouldn't be like this. You know what I mean? So like even though it didn't work out, like my ex-husband, like I got to acknowledge him, like and own my part in it, by the way. But also like without that going that way, I wouldn't have done the work to get here and to be able to have this conversation. Yeah. Right. So like, not just like those people make me being a contribution to somebody else, but those people being a contribution to me too, and what I got out of it. Like it's huge.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You are an impressive person.
Thank you.
That's really cool.
Just me.
Yeah, just you.
Just being Kelly.
Well, no, it's cool because like
most people don't know this about me. Like all these things, like
I didn't know.
I know most people don't.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's just wild because like I see you, and don't take any offense to this. I see you as this like really sweet and bubbly person who does her fitness, does bartending, and has kids. Like and when you're only there for a couple hours, and all of us are running around at a constant rate of it's hard to have like a really meaningful conversation. Yeah. I'm really impressed. It's hard to put into words because, like, I knew this would be a great time and a great podcast because, again, you are very authentic and I'm sure we're going to have a great conversation. You and I get along great. Yeah. It was just, when you said you were really deep, I was like, oh, that sounds cool. All right, we'll get to the bottom of that. I don't think there's an end. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. This is cool. This is really cool.
I used to hate that part of me because most people can't handle it. And I know, like, I'm intense. I know that. Like, I have, I've been told about my, resting bitch face all the time. Like, I'm intense. Like, I get it. Yeah. And I used to, like, shy away from that side of me. But here's the thing, right? It's a deep part of me, and there's a dark side, like in a good way. And like without that, I wouldn't know like the light of the light of me. Sure. Like I like it. Like I like that I'm intense. Yeah. But not everybody can handle that, and I'm okay with that also.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like I don't want to never not Kelly. Be that. You know. So it's no fun to be suppressed.
Sure.
And I think a lot of people live that way. They don't know how to be their authentic selves and stand out. You see it where we're at. Like, I stand out a little bit, but I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I think that is, and that might be just society today. And I know I'm young. I'm only 23. But when it comes to, I feel like there's a lot of authenticity that because of just how things are, people are afraid to be that way.
They are.
You know what I'm saying? Like and I hand it to Lou sometimes.
For that. Right. I get that.
I
get that.
I jump in a wall, but it's, it does take a lot to be able to jump around and do those crazy
be
stuff.
Different. Right.
And be different.
Right.
And people like to conform.
That. Yeah, I get that. They do. They
There's
really do.
There's a good study.
And I'll never do that.
What?
I'll never do that.
Conform?
When I was in high school, like, this isn't like a new thing. Like, when I was in high school, my junior prom, I wore a white dress and I wore red Chuck Taylors. And back then, people didn't do that. My mom was ready to kill me.
Really?
I wore red Chuck Taylors with a white dress. Like, I've always liked to stand out. Like, it's always been my thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like something like I just decided over time. Like, it's literally like I've always been this. Yeah, I've always been this way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's this cool thing. They did it as like a prank, but it turned into like a study where there was it's about conforming. And there was this person would come into like an office building for like, say, I think it was the doctors, and the room was full of 8 people. The 9th person, so you can pull it around if you need to. And the room was full of like 8 people that were all part of the study.
Okay.
And the new person that would come in is just a random person waiting for their doctor's appointment. And there's a buzzer, like a small little beep, and the beep would indicate for all the people to stand up, 1, 2, 3, and they would sit back down. And of course, all those people are a part of it, but the one guy in the room was like, "What the hell?" So only the second or third beep, he does it. Then the one person that's part of the test gets pulled to the back. Then someone else comes in that has no clue, and eventually, all the people that were part of the test are now gone, and the random people from the outside are all coming up and down with the beeps.
That's crazy.
And it's one of those things about conforming for like humans,
yeah,
where you look at it in like, it was like a prank kind of deal situation, but it's like it's a study. It's an act of, well, this is a real life thing happening. People are genuinely willing to conform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my middle son is very much like me, and we butt heads. And I really
No.
I just not too long ago, like, I had a conversation with him. I said, you know what? Like, he drove me crazy because he didn't want to do all the things like his brothers did, or he didn't want to eat what they were eating, or he didn't want to go where they wanted to go. And I would be like, just do it. And I just recently acknowledged him for that. I said, you know what? You were a real pain in my ass, but like, good for you, kid, for standing up against me.
Yeah.
You did what you wanted to do, and like, shame on me for trying to get you to conform to your brothers.
Look at you.
Yeah.
That's
and I'm
awesome.
sorry. I'm sorry that I did that to you. But like, in the hecticness of like raising 3 kids, he was like the one who was like, I'm not going. I'm not doing it. And I'm like, dude, get your shoes on. Let's go. And he was like, no. And like, at the time when you got 3 kids, you're just like, dude, let's go. Like,
I don't have time for this.
Right. I don't have time for this. Like, let's go. We got to go. And he'd be like, no. And like, I really get, like, 1, he's very much like me, but 2, like, good for you. Like, good for, and I'm sorry that I did that to you. Like, I'm really sorry that I tried to get you to be more like your brothers, or be, put on the shoes, or go where you didn't want to go, and all the things. Like, I just acknowledged him for that. Like,
That's awesome.
I'm so proud of you for standing up against me, even though it sucked for me, but like, good for you. Like, no, good for you for being different.
Well, that's awesome that you can, like, I wouldn't say swallow your pride, but that's awesome that you can just kind of be like, hey, listen, that's my bad. That's my fault.
It is. Yeah. Like, I feel horrible that I did that to him. Like, I do. I really feel bad about that. Yeah. But I was in the moment, I was just doing the best I could, and it's like, you had to get to practice, and he didn't want to put on shoes, or whatever the thing was. Like, in the moment, you're just like, dude, let's go. But I like looking back, I'm like, God, I was such a jerk to that kid,
Well, the fact that you can admit it is...
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I hate to do this to you, but would you believe that we did pretty much an hour?
That's awesome. No,
dude, it did not feel like
it did not.
I looked back like
so
a minute ago. I was like, "There's no way we're already at 50 minutes."
That's awesome. No,
but,
it went fast for sure.
Yeah. So, just kind of wrapping this up. If you want to go ahead and tell people out there any kind of social media things that they can contact you on. If you still do your life coaching, put your email out there.
Yeah, I have Just Being Kelly 23 is TikTok and Instagram, so that's the best way to find me.
It's just go ahead. It's
just JUST being, Kelly 23.
All right.
TikTok and Instagram. It's the best way to get a hold of me.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. But
this has been so
this
awesome.
is awesome.
Honestly,
Thank you
I want to acknowledge you for having me on here today.
Well, yeah, no, I'm glad you could be on.
For doing this. Yeah, it's awesome.
This is great.
Yeah, it's been great.
So I'm so excited. You guys will see all the clips coming out soon.
Yes.
Kelly, you're an absolute pleasure. I'm so
Thank
glad we
you.
got to do this.
I am too.
Because
Thank you
you
so
asked me a
much.
couple weeks ago to do this, and I was like, oh, listen, like I was backed up, but then I had like 4 cancellations last week, and I was like, well,
Here we are.
Here we are. But no, seriously, I'm very glad we did this, and I'm glad it was sooner than it was going to be later for the next like week. I'm glad we did it this week.
We just made it happen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
Been awesome.
Bye, everyone on TikTok.
Bye.
We'll see you guys later.